All right. It's on its way. Ay, ay, ay. Hey. Good morning. And as you said, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Jesse.
Okay. I'm going to put that there. Let's look. Tell me if you can't see this. Um, I can invent a new app. Oh no. Uh oh. This is going to be exciting. Technology is convenient now. And it really is. Um, Technology is convenient now. There are many websites we can use, but we don't always feel. Okay, now here's the thing. All right. This is a verb, and you want an adjective. Okay. So you feel satisfied. Hold on. Let's make it easier to look at me. Let me pull this up here. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. Okay, we're good. Um, there are many websites we can use, but we don't always feel satisfied. This is a verb, but we want you want to use an adjective. You feel good, you feel happy, you feel fast, you feel warm, you feel blue, you feel purple. Okay, so you want an adjective. So any verb can become an adjective if you simply make it passive. It's very interesting. This is a theory I've operated with for a long time. Verbs are yeah. So satisfied. So that's an adjective. All right, that's how to do that. There are many websites we can use so we don't feel stressed. Now I'm seeing we've got a pattern here. Here's this. There are, but. Here you've got another one. There are, but. And you've got a sentence. Sentence, there are, but. Sentence, there are, but. It seems almost repetitive and it's easy to get lost in it, but I want to look at this more closely to see what it is that we're dealing with. So it could be a really good idea. For Asian students, studying is the most important thing that will affect. Oh, watch this. It's not you. It's not mine. Okay, for Asian students, studying is the most important thing that will affect my. Because I'm reading. So your means me. Now watch this. It should say our, right? Now watch this. I always say this. See if the spelling of your edited word is already there. Okay? That will happen More than you would think. I really mean this. I would guess half the time. Like, say I want to delete a lot. I'd say, you know what? I want to delete everything and just start with that. I want to delete everything. Let's say I decide that. Double check and see if the new capital letter isn't already there. And look at that. That. I'm telling you, stuff like that happens more than half the time. So don't do that thing where you start here and delete everything and then type the letter again. The first capital letter could be the capital letter you need. And here, the first letter, just delete the first letter. I can't tell you how many people would delete this word and type O-U-R. It happens. No. Give it a look. Give it a look. Okay, give it a look. The letters you need are probably already there with one delete action. I'd say more than half of the time. Maybe 55% of the time. Like just over half the time. All right. This is an editing tip. It's kind of an interesting phenomenon. Okay. For Asian students, studying is the most important thing that will affect our parents. Now, if it's our, you don't need it twice. Our parents and reputation. It will affect our parents and reputation. That's the way to do that. You could do our reputation if you're... It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Okay. There are many websites about education too, but I don't think the functions are complete. Okay. Okay. There are websites about education. There are something, and then but. Part of me wants to change that rhythm. I like this, how the children studying affects the parents. I like that. There is a fundamental problem with this. Studying will affect our parents. There's a problem with that. Okay? If I have children and if they study or don't study and that affects me, then I am weak. If someone else does things that affect me, then I have given that other person too much power over my life. And the solution is I need to be more awesome. Does this make sense? If I'm awesome enough, then nothing will affect me. So as an English speaking readers know this. Now there are people in younger generations that are really stupid, and they don't, you know, they want to blame everybody else for everything. But by and large, our culture knows that if someone else affects you, you don't control it, but they do something and you do nothing and they affect you, then you have allowed that person to have too much power and you need to be more awesome. So the only way, if a student, if a young person, if a junior high school or senior high school student in Taiwan, if their study habits affect their parents aren't very awesome now, are they? That's what the English speakers will think. Wow, what weak people. And we say it like this. I don't want to elaborate on this long, but this is the thinking. They'll say that you're like a pinball in a pinball machine. You know this? Have you ever seen this?
Yeah.
They'll say, you are like that ball. That ball that bounces around has absolutely no control. It's just, someone else controls everything. And the ball that's bouncing around there doesn't have any control at all. And so they'll say, you are not this ball right here. There it is. They'll say, you are not that little ball. You're at the mercy of everybody else. No. Because you've surrendered all responsibility. Nothing is your fault. You can blame everyone else, and you don't need to take any responsibility. And that's, so we'll make this comparison. They'll say you've let yourself become a pinball in a pinball machine. Everything else is happening. All this stuff is happening, and you control zero. Once, well, he did this, and my problems are his fault. No, they're not. Your problems are your fault, and my problems are my fault. That's how that works. Okay, so I think there is, and we see plenty of this in America. This happens all over the world, but we all have our things. But I think Americans will talk about this, and I think more and more Asians are talking about this, as our cultures influence each other. So if the parents are good parents, they will guide their children. They will influence them. Roy, you get good grades and you get good marks because of some choices that your parents made. You work hard, but your parents let you work. They stay out of your way. They help you. They pay for your lessons with Erhu. They help you. You do work, but your parents help you. So, yeah, your study helps your parents' reputation. Now, here's a thought. What if we said our parents and family reputation? How about that? Does that work? Because it's your reputation also.
Yeah. I think that's okay.
Now this isn't an alternative, but we've got a problem. But I think that's true for Asian students. Studying is the most important thing that will affect our parents' reputation. Here's another word: significant. Important is like, what's significant mean? In the Chinese, it's the same. I think maybe this. Important is something, it's about an idea. Significant is closer to changing other things. Something important, it's just an idea, and we use the idea to change things. Something that's significant, it itself will change other things. That's how we use this word. So the studying will affect other things. So that's significant. Important is something you need to remember. Practice is important because the practice doesn't do anything. You use the practice to do something. Okay. For Asian students, studying is the most important thing that will affect our parents' and family reputation. Can we take out parents and just do family? Can we do that? Okay. I think that is less suspicious of the parents blaming all their problems on the children, which is stupid. I know parents in America who do that, and all the other parents hate them because they just you know. And I know one parent who blames their children for problems, but they never say that. They believe it's the children's problems, but they never say that to anyone. Because they know how bad it is. In Asia, they don't know how bad it is, so they say it all the time. Okay? But I think this is true. I think this is something that Americans can't blame the parents in Asia for. If we just say the family, it affects the family. Forget reputation. Studying affects the family. That's Asia's education and work systems. The systems of work and of education and employment do make that true. And so it's not about English grammar. It's about the ideas of the culture. If we don't say it affects our parents, but we say it affects the family, that includes you. You affect yourself. There's less, see, that idea has less room for the reader to go, oh, you stupid culture. There's not as much room. It's not the culture. It's the government and education and job system. And everyone knows that our systems have problems. In every country, the people are fighting against their own economy constantly. Okay, so English composition, writing in English, is not only about the grammar, but also thinking about the ideas that people will get. And that's the level that we're now at. So what do I always say, Roy? The higher your level of English goes up, the more and more the answer to every question is think about the picture. Okay, think about the picture. For Asian students, studying is the most significant thing that will affect our family. Now, you could say our family apostrophe S, our family's reputation, but you can also use this as a modifier noun. Our big reputation, our good reputation, our family reputation. Okay? Just like I can say small bottle, clear bottle, plastic bottle, water bottle. Plastic and water are nouns, but I'm using them like an adjective, which is a modifier. So it's a modifier. It's not a noun modifier, it's a modifier noun. So you can say our family reputation, and family is a modifier. It's a noun that's like an adjective. Adjectives are modifiers. A noun used as an adjective is a modifier, but not an adjective. So rectangles and squares, modifiers. Okay. Here's the problem. In writing, you want to avoid modifiers. If you have to use a modifier, then you haven't made a good enough sentence. Normally. But I think here, family reputation, that says a lot. So sometimes a well-placed noun modifier noun, not modifier, can really be rich. A well-placed modifier noun. Okay, so that's what we've got there. Okay, there are many websites about education. Let's change the to into also, because this is getting complicated. We could get lost. To is, there's a place for to, but I wanna break up the rhythm here. There are also many websites. Now hold on. Maybe we don't even need to. That to is a modifier. So maybe we don't need it. Okay, we don't need that. We know it's good. It's very good use of English, but we don't need it. There are many websites we can use. So you can say that. But we always... Oh, okay. Don't feel satisfied. Always don't. You know what always don't is? Never. And I think that's the proper way to do that. I think it's a little... It might be technically allowable, but I think never is really the right way to do that. For Asian students studying the Okay. It's okay. We don't need to say I don't think. You can just say the functions are not complete. The term, here's the thing. The functionality. That's what you mean. That's the term, that's the function word that you're looking for. The functionality or capability. You could say capability. Let's add that as an extra word. And here, look at this. You've got ability. See ability? That's a similar word. Functionality. Hold on. There are also many websites about education with the functionality is not. We said this, right? The functionality is not completed. I don't think the functions are complete. Okay. But the functionality is not complete. So this is a predicate adjective. And this is a compound sentence. The functionality is not complete. That's a complete full sentence. Now, okay, so a question bank is something with many questions. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Technology is convenient now, but I wonder if this is too much thinking. If we just delete this, it won't change the sentence at all. But there's some value in it. It does bring value. And I'm not sure what to do because you've got there are, but, and then here we have there are, but. And I wonder if they can just go together. Hold on. There are many websites. There are also many websites. Hold on. Oh, wait. Here we go. I think I'm getting it. Watch this. Let's take out also. Because here's what's happened. When you've got there are many websites, but that means that you're still thinking about your ideas. You're not sure what you want to say, and you're still thinking about it while you're writing. And that's a lot of people. Many of us think about what we're doing while we're writing. Okay, now watch what I'm going to do here. There are many websites we can use, really, as opposed to websites you can't use. Okay. If you can't use it, it's not really a website. Okay, that would be an API. Okay. All right. Now, watch this. The functionality is not complete. We are not satisfied. Watch this. But the functionality does not complete, satisfy the need. This is business talk. Business fulfills a need. Now watch this. So now functionality is not complete. Well, what the heck does complete mean? Now if we say it doesn't satisfy the need, well, that's less of an opinion and more of a fact. Okay. But now we have the word satisfy. This sentence is completely redundant from everything in here now. Before it was similar. Now it's completely redundant, so we can delete it. And watch this. Let's make a more interesting introduction. We don't need to delete everything. Watch. What if we take that route? Make the first sentence the second, because what you had was technology is convenient, there are many websites. We still have technology is convenient, there are many websites. We just didn't start with that. So when you're writing and editing stuff, you have to see like so many, well, we could do this or that. What all could we do? Try it. Think about it. What if we reverse these sentences? Does that make sense? You have to try that in your mind. It's a lot to consider. For Asian students, studying is the most significant thing that will affect our family reputation. Okay, now watch this. Thing that will affect. If we do effect on. Studying has the most significant effect on our family reputation. Effect is a good word. I think significant effect is what we're going after here. It's not really wrong what you wrote before. Important thing that will affect. How about is? Is important thing that will affect. How about has significant effect on? The most. Technology is convenient. Watch this. Is more convenient every day. How about that? Because then now isn't locked into one point in time. There are many websites about education, but the functionality does not satisfy the need. So, here you have your need. Here comes the businessman with his solution. Now, you really, 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 really do think like a businessman. Because you chose to provide in your solution the word bank. Do you know that? Okay. You did that. It wasn't used the same way, but you put the word bank in your solution. Okay. Every time. You ready? Again, many schools have big exams. Each one has many new questions. You ready? How about just new questions? Okay. Are you seeing this? Okay. It's more powerful, isn't it? Because if it's a big exam with new questions, I'm not telling you if it's 50% new questions or 75%. I'm just saying it's a big exam with new questions. Your imagination makes that more important and more scary, which is what we want. Less is more. And now you have fewer words. My thought is now, do you mean school subjects like some questions for chemistry and some questions for math?
Yeah.
So on the test, they're all mixed together?
No.
Okay. It's okay. Okay. Here's what you want to say. Can make lists according to subject. That's what you want to say. It can make lists according to subject. Here's a word you want. It can grab their questions. That's good. A better word might be scan. Now, as for a list, that is called sorting. Now, you ready for this? According to. 4 syllables. By. The website can scan their questions and sort lists by subject. And now we've said the same idea, and people are not exhausted with all the syllables they had to listen to and process in order to get there. If you can get to the same idea in fewer words, people will understand you better. Because you don't want people to have to go do a marathon just to listen to all of the syllables before they can get your idea. They'll be so exhausted and tired from all the thinking that they won't know where you were. It has the effect of a smoke screen. Do you know what a smoke screen is? If your words are too many, then you've made a smoke bomb. Here's another one, a smoke grenade. You know? So if your sentences are too long, you've just added a lot of smoke. And it's hard for people to see the words. That's really what we're doing. When we're making the same idea in fewer words, we're clearing out the smoke. So people can just see they don't have to look at other stuff that doesn't add meaning, that gets in the way. Cutting out the words is like clearing the smoke. Schools have big exams, and each subject has new questions. Oh, each one has a new question. My thought is, when the exams finish, okay, we don't need ED. Finished is an adjective. Here you have a subject. A subject and an adjective. There's no verb. Finish. When the exams finish. That's a correct sentence. The website can scan their questions and sort lists by subject. Okay. Ready? If I have, you ready? Prepositions are our friends. With. Okay? With more ability, it's not you, it's your app. It can make lists for how do we say this? It can, we don't need even. Because even means more. Even more. We have more. Okay. 如果可以 is could. So this is a maybe. This is more maybe. It could make, you don't need even. Because you already have that with the more. Or in the future. In the future it could. Okay, so the future usually has more, not less. In the future, it could make lists okay, we're still using the word sort instead of make. It could, oh, ready? Okay, ready? Here you're sorting lists by subject. We already have lists twice. Ready? Sort by difficulty. We don't need a comma here because you don't have a subject after or. There's no subject here. So it's a compound predicate. Difficulty or make. What do you mean a status table?
S- It's the situation of how how they answering it. How much questions did they answer right or wrong? And some what topics they have to practice more, or some topics that is good like that.
I think your word here is produce. Of course, it's for the users. That's one thing that confused me. With more ability, it could sort by difficulty. This needs an N, but I'm not sure that we are there yet. What would we call this? Okay. This is my best way, because you're talking about a list of the graded answers, but it is more useful with more information than normal, right? Progress. We use this word in education a lot. What is his progress? Okay, because in education, you have a track and you go through the track and you finish by the end of the year or by the end of the class, the semester, or trimester. So it could sort by difficulty or produce an answer progress table. Okay. Of course, it will be based on answers. A progress table. There you go. Shows your progress. And if it's a table, then it will have, of course, there will be a lot on it. It won't just show progress. It will produce a table for the progress. Taiwan has many kinds of students. That's okay. A period is enough here. That's okay. Concept. My concept is, let's do this. Let's say it's simple. Let's tell people to relax before we start talking. There you go. Now your introduction will call. Normally an introduction will make people nervous because they're getting ready for something big. Let's calm them down. When we make them nervous, let's calm them down. It's always a good idea to calm people down when you make them nervous. Okay. Now, many people would say don't make them nervous in the first place, but I think it's more fun to make them calmly nervous. Taiwan has many kinds of students. Some want to get a good rank. Okay. Okay, ready? Those who want a good rank okay. Those ready? Okay, this is our lack ability. The ability is not so good. Some ability may not be so good. This is what we say. Okay, we're saying those who struggle. Try, start with. Usually the difficulty is a level. Especially for English readers. Not them, everyone. Skill can be uncountable. Practicing different kinds of. Being different isn't the answer. Targeting the right questions. And it's still helping. It's helping them to target the right questions. It could help everyone upgrade by targeting. That's what it helps. You could say it helps by targeting, or you could say it helps upgrade by targeting. So help is this has it covered. Which one is it? You've put the idea out there so people know what you mean. And that's all you need to say. It's already said in there. It's already said in there. Okay, here's one other thing. This is 5-paragraph essay BS. This right here restates everything you've already said. We never do this in a newspaper article or any good article. The only place that you say what you already said is in a school paper. It's convenient. We've already talked about convenient. Convenient. Finding different questions. Help learn. We already did help. The whole thing is about learning. It's all about education. ER is comparative. Now you can do this. Ready for this? You can do that. Because that's what all of it is. I hope it can, and then you just summarize the whole thing. How about just, I hope it works. There we go. You can do a sentence there. Now here's one other thing. Remember, you want to end every one of your articles with, I am a good student who always studies and gets good grades, and that's why I'm a good Taiwanese. Like that's what you're ending your articles with. Here's the problem. That's what the whole thing is about. Okay? So we don't need to end with that. We're gonna end before we end. We're gonna end that before we end. I hope it works. Okay. Right? I mean, right? That does it. Everybody knows that. I hope it works. Yup. Now, okay, I like this. We got this. Here's the reason. Why do schools tell students to do the 5-paragraph essay? They say what they're going to say. Then they say 1, say 2, and say 3. And then say what you already said. Why do schools want that? There are 2 reasons. Can you tell me what they are? Da, 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 da. Do, 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 do. Up. Boom, boom. Do, 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 do. Dun. Okay, so time's up. All Americans know that song from the TV show Jeopardy. They all know, and it's so annoying to listen to. And you hear that music, and you just feel, oh, I have to think about the question. I only have so much time. I'm thinking, but time's almost up. What do I do? Like it sets that emotion for everyone. They all know it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, why? What do we got?
Isn't that because teachers want students to organize
What?
their
Right. Why do they want students to organize it?
because sometimes their article will be the order of the paragraph will be wrong. So
Okay. All right. Hold
maybe
on.
teacher.
Hold on. All right. You're thinking in the right direction. I think you are thinking in the right direction. This is good. But some things you can't understand until you have done it. Okay? So you will not know the full answer because you haven't done it. So that's a pretty good answer since you haven't been a teacher. So you can't really know the full answer. That's a pretty good answer though. Since you've never been a teacher. That's a good answer. there's two problems with your answer. One is just you don't know. The other thing is this. There's not a right or wrong order. Language and writing is not a science. So there is no right or wrong. Now you can use correct grammar, but there is not a one right way to make a sentence. There are billions of correct sentences. Any sentence could be okay. So the English article is not correct or incorrect. The grammar can be. But the idea and the writing and the quality isn't correct or incorrect. It's good or bad. Okay? It's like art or music. There are many ways that you can interpret your musical song. There are many ways. You could choose a slightly different tempo. You could make one part louder or softer. And those choices aren't right or wrong. They're good or bad. And there's degrees of good and degrees of bad. It's a scale. That's why they give you points. Okay? And there's also the skill. What's the level of quality just of the skill? How good are you with your hands to make the instrument sound a certain way? And with writing, Chinese or English, your choice of words. How good are you with choosing interesting and effective collections of words? Like, I hope it works. That's so simple, but it says it. That's a great closing. You could just stop right there, but that looks more like a newspaper. I hope it works. That's more of a magazine. Newspapers, you read the story to learn as fast as you can. Magazines, you want to learn to read, but you want to enjoy it while you do. Magazine articles want to be a little more fun. It's like a ride, and we're gonna go, whee! You know, like when you read a magazine article. Okay, so there isn't right or wrong. It's because it's not math, and that's a problem with Taiwan's education system. They treat English answers as right or wrong, and they treat it like a science instead of an art. English is an art. It's like dance or music. Art, paintings and pictures. They're not right or wrong. They're good or bad. And then the skill is a factor. So, the website could help everyone upgrade their skill by targeting the right questions. I hope it works. Let's see. The reason that teachers want you to write an introduction and a conclusion, there are two reasons. One reason the teachers don't know. Teachers did not invent the education system. They learn how to teach from other people. So one, teachers want it organized so they can read 300 papers faster. Teachers go home, they have 150 to 300 assignments to grade every day. They have to go through those fast. So you tell them in the beginning what you will say, you tell them in the end what they said, so they know what to expect. And then they measure your middle 3 paragraphs according to the first and last paragraph. This is what I will do. They say, okay, this is what you'll do. Did you do that? And then if everything lines up, you can get a good grade. Okay? And they can grade it fast. They can process it fast. That's good. That's good. It helps you control yourself and practice staying in the lines and control what you're doing. That's good. Okay? That's not bad. Here's the problem with that, and it's the problem with school itself. No one wants to read a magazine or news article that uses 5-paragraph essays. They are the most boring way to write anything. They're never interesting. Schools and textbooks and the education industry does not want people to succeed. I forget who it was. I want to think it might have been Justin Bieber. But I think also Suge Knight, who was Tupac's producer. I think it was Suge Knight, actually. He said, most people are good musicians who could have, they could be a produced music artist. Most people, or many, many, many people, maybe 1/3, maybe 1 out of 3 people, like it's a lot of people are good enough musicians to be on the radio. And people would love it. They'd love the radio. They'd listen. Now, I was driving my car. I bought a car in Florida. I had to drive it to college in Chicago. It took me 24 hours on the road to drive. I drove through Nashville. Hollywood is where the movies are made. Nashville is where the music is made. And I was coming from Chattanooga, Tennessee. And this is Chattanooga. This is Chattanooga. The most boring city on the planet. It's the most boring big city. It has a whole bunch of these bridges, like tons of them. I think there's 4 of them. And it's got this giant river. And before the city is a bunch of mountains you can't live on. And after the city is a bunch of mountains you can't live on. It's got 300,000 people. See? Big city. Other side of the river, nothing. You can't live there. It's a mountain. There, that's better. Nothing. Big city with 300,000 people. Nothing. Okay? In Chattanooga, there were only 3 radio stations. This was before mobile internet. It's good that I had my CD player in my car. I could listen to 10 good songs, okay? The whole 24 hours, okay? There were 3 radio stations. Bad country music. Not even good country music. In my hometown, we have a country music station, and it's good country music. They had bad country music. They had very bad country music. And then the 3rd radio station had country music that was so bad, I don't even think you could call it country music. Everyone knows that country music is bad music. Sometimes it's beautiful and the words are great, but it's really not. It's a really easy music to do. Okay. So now someone's gonna say that I insulted country music. I love some country songs. I'd love. Looking back on the memory of the dance we shared beneath the stars above. There's a lot of beautiful country songs that'll make you cry, but it's simple, easy music. It's very simple. Okay. I went through all the radio stations 4 times. I was going through the city for 4 hours. Before there, in the city, after. There were 3 radio stations on the whole thing. All of them were country. Bad country, very bad country, and country that was so bad I don't think we could call it country music. Then all of a sudden, I come over the top of a hill and I look, and there it is. I can see it way off down the road. And it was down the mountain. I was on the road, and I'm looking down the mountain. It's at the end of the road. I was up there. I was way out there, and I could see all this. And every time I turned the knob, it was a new radio station. There wasn't any radio station and then nothing, and then radio station and nothing. Every single one was a radio station. And every single one played music that I never heard before. I didn't recognize any songs. They were all new songs that I'd never heard before or after. And so they're all local artists. They're all new and local artists in Nashville because they love to listen to new music. So everyone is very talented, and we have many, many, many good writers. We have many good dancers. We have many good musicians. We have many, many, many good people. But the big industries, the publishing industry for books, the news writing and magazine industry, the music industry, the dance industry, the movie industry, the acting and theater industry, they want to teach everyone in school in a very, very difficult way to learn. It's easy to do, but the way that they teach it makes easy things almost impossible. But it's not the writing or the music or the dance or the movies that's hard. It's the way they teach it that's hard. And they want every school to do it kind of the same way, a little different, but still difficult. So students go through school for 6-7 years. They're in high school and junior high. And they finish and they say, oh, I tried to learn music, but it's so hard. Oh, I tried to do dance, but it's so hard. I tried to do, writing, but it's so hard. And then they give up. They work at a factory or an office for their job. And then they listen to the 3 good radio stations. And they think, wow, those 3 people are amazing, because I could never do that. And it's all a game. So the school does not want people to learn news writing or magazine writing or novel story writing. They don't want to teach people to do that. So they try to get them to only do this 5-paragraph essay thing so that no one finishes high school knowing how to be a good writer. That way, there isn't as much competition for people in the newspapers and magazines. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's one reason why schools, and here's the other problem too. The teachers in school don't want that. Teachers in school want their students to be awesome. So the teachers think teaching how to write is difficult. Even the teachers think it's difficult, and it's not. The industry and the textbook companies want everyone to struggle, including the teachers. And everyone feels, oh, this is so difficult. And they want the teachers to think, oh, being good at music and writing is so hard. So the teachers worship the people in the magazines and on the radio. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, it is good to do 5-paragraph essay with teachers in school, learn to strain your writing, learn to think about what you're saying. But this isn't a 5-paragraph essay. This is one-on-one, and I've got time to focus on you, and I don't have to put you through like one little toy coming through the factory. Okay? We can really focus on this. So we're not doing 5-paragraph essay. So just bear that in mind. Oh, it died. It'll restart soon in a minute. Okay, are you ready to read this? This was a fun article today. I was glad we did this. This is really fun. Are you ready to record? I'm ready to record it.
Yes.
Okay, hold on a second. My dogs are making noise. Tell me when you're ready. Give me the sign. For Asian students, studying has become the most significant effect on our family reputation. Technology is more convenient every day. There are many websites about education, but the functionality does not satisfy the need. So, I want to invent a new app. Actually, hold on, we got to stop this. Do you want this to be a web app? Let's call it a web app. It's a website and app. We can do it as an app or as a website. So we call that a web app. Okay, are you with me?
Yes.
A web app hold on, what's how he says? It's not about, apps are not about things. About is not the word we want. I know what you mean. But even I don't know how to say this. A web app. Oh. With. There you go. Okay. With a system. And then here you have two nouns as your modifiers to describe the system. And that's good. I told you it'd come back, and it did. Okay, let's start over. Tell me when you're ready to go again. For Asian students, studying has become the most significant effect on our family reputation. Technology is more convenient every day. There are many websites about education, but the functionality does not satisfy the need. So, I want to invent a new web app with a question bank system. Schools have big exams. Each one has new questions. My concept is simple. When the exams finish, the website can scan their questions and sort lists by subject. With more ability, it could sort by difficulty or produce a progress table. Taiwan has many kinds of students. Those who want a good rank can try the difficult questions. Those who struggle can start with easier difficulty levels. This website could help everyone upgrade their skill by targeting the right questions. I hope it works. There you go. There's lots of ways to read that. That's one way to read it. Okay, Roy, it's always a thrill and a delight. I'll see you. Oh, and just a reminder, if you want to, write a letter to that judge. He will remember you. And if that judge remembers you, when it comes time to recommend a good musician he knows every musician in Taiwan. He knows every performing art thing. He gave you first place in the country. He already supports you. After he gave you a bad rank last time and chewed you out in front of everyone. He cares about you. Write him a letter. Make sure he knows how to find you. If nothing else, thank him and give him a letter to write you back. Do it really fast. It'll take you 10 minutes. And he may very well end up talking to someone somewhere, and that person invites you to go perform in their concert hall, and you are a performing artist for the rest of your life. That maybe not, but always, he did you a favor. Always be thankful when people do you a favor. Writing his letter could be one of the best things you could do for a music career, okay? Always be thankful. That's the thing. It's not just about practice. And it's not about who you know. It's about respecting the people you know. Okay? Okay. All right, and no one will tell you that. That's a Jesse original. No one will tell you that. They'll say it's all about who you know. No, it's about respecting the people you know. And the people you know them well. Don't just know them a little bit. Talk to them. Engage them. All right, see you next week.